Hey everyone, welcome back to the Analog Vision Media podcast where we watch a movie and we talk about it just for fun. My name is Justin Beckler and I'm joined by my three associates.
Rochelle.
I'm Brahmin.
I'm Riley Eberts.
And we are all a little bit tired. It's late in the evening. We decided to watch a movie and we realized, you know what, we should probably talk about it afterwards. Today's theme was 1980s weird movies. This was my choice, and the following movies were Scanners from 1981, They Live from 1988, and the choice we ended up going with was Videodrome by David Cronenberg, which was a 1983 film.
It's weird. It's
This
really weird.
this was a weird one. The choices really it came down to a final two, which was They Live and Videodrome, and simply it was a coin toss, and we got Videodrome.
It was a coin toss.
Yeah. So, this was a movie I watched long ago. I watched it with one of my best friends back in my hometown. He was a huge movie collector, and he said, "Hey, let's watch this movie called Videodrome." And I watched it, and that was an experience. So that was one of the reason why I wanted to kind of watch it today was just it's a weird one. What did everyone else think of it?
I didn't
I
understand it, all of it.
I
I was
Ditto.
confused.
Ditto.
Brandon?
yeah. I I feel like we finished the movie, and usually we're really excited to talk about a movie because we all have a lot to say. But this time we finished it, and it was like everyone was just trying to process what we just watched. Like me included. I was like with weird movies, I can usually find something and pick it apart. But with this one, I was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Like so many questions, and
I
it just
literally went and sat in the toilet and thought about what I just watched for an hour and a half.
It's definitely a movie that you need to process because about halfway through you think to yourself, I think I'm understanding, and then there was a switch and it's like, I'm not understanding. But why don't we kind of pick apart the movie a little bit? So the basic synopsis is a television producer is trying to find new content for his channel, and it's kind of like it's an interesting television channel. It's kind of like a softcore pornography, but also hardcore violence news, not news channel, but some sort of television channel. And then he stumbles across this one type of content called Videodrome, and it kind of just goes into this weird sort of storyline that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm sure there's some sort of underlying message, but it has to do a lot with like political messages, but also what kind of like what video does to the brain and
yeah, there was a lot of that, like people's like perception of like through the TV. Like there's one whole character who was just like, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, it was revealed that he was dead, but he was like, I will not appear on TV unless I'm on TV. So like a TV on a TV, and then he'll appear. So it's like, and his whole idea was like the like what you perceive on TV is like more real than reality or something. Like it was weird. And I guess that's kind of what like they're going with. It's like all about perception, and then like the main character starts hallucinating, and that's like his perception of reality. Right? I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. I'm still like kind of, I don't know.
This David Cronenberg is mostly known for his famous film The Fly, and this was I think a film that came out just before that one, and it's definitely one that you need to maybe watch again to maybe understand, but this is my second watch through and I have no idea what was
Yeah.
going on.
Did you put Scanners as another one?
I did.
And that also is by him too.
It is. But if I remember Scanners, that one makes more sense. This one is more like you need to really try and understand it. Because
Okay, my problem with it is like there's movies that don't make any sense, and like I can watch those movies and it's like you're just trying to interpret everything, but this one it's like it made just enough sense so that I'm like I should be understanding what's going on, but I don't. So I just felt stupid the whole time because I'm like, I feel like they're telling me what's happening. Like there'd be like points when somebody would be like explaining something and I'm listening and I'm like, I have no idea what you just said. Like, I that made me more confused, even though you were just explaining what's happening. Which, I mean, maybe that's just like, maybe that's what it was. That's probably what it was meant to do, right? But it just like,
Well-
every time something happened or every time somebody explained something, I was like, what?
Here's the thing. Everything they explained made sense, but where I started to be like, now I don't understand what's going on, is when really the whole idea is the main character, Max, James Woods, watches this show and then he starts to have these crazy hallucinations. But then that part kind of made sense. But then when the hallucinations started to become real,
Well, I think it like, it gave him like powers. As
But-
weird as that sounds, because they were talking about like, you can use your newfound flesh powers to like go against Videodrome, because essentially Videodrome turned him into an assassin. Like, that's kind of what was implied. They were like, okay, we control you now. Here's your first assignment. And then they took a weird beating, like a live VHS, and like put it in his stomach. And then it was like, okay, that's his assignment. That's what he needs to go do. But then he ends up getting that VHS out of himself somehow. And
not
then,
out of himself, literally
He was
shot. He was
yeah,
shot.
he was shot. But then,
But he
which
wasn't
didn't
shot.
make any sense to me. But he was reprogrammed. Yeah, reprogrammed. But like, so he was an assassin. Basically, they were like creating Videodrome to turn people into assassins or like control them, I guess.
Yeah, but like through this weird like torture pornography medium is
But
so weird.
was that actually what Videodrome was, or was that just his like perception of it?
Yeah. It was some sort of brainwave signal through television screens. Like,
It was weird.
it's a weird one. But let's maybe not talk about what we don't understand, but let's talk about what we do understand. What did we feel about the overall movie aside from the story? Which is kind of hard. But from a thematic filmmaking perspective, I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was paced really well. I thought the lighting was really, really cool. And I think we can all agree the sets were pretty neat. I like the detail in them.
Mm-hmm. I liked they used a lot of like hard light and like colored light.
And even like a lot of like some like strong like backlight too on like some of the shots. Like, I don't know, I just noticed like some of them he was like just backlit, but it was like very noticeable.
We like a good backlight.
Yeah, because like I feel like a lot of movies, I feel like I noticed that in older movies too, like really strong backlight, and you can definitely tell in this movie too. But compared to like more modern movies, like I don't know, there's not always like that really. I think that's like a defining factor for some old movies, like really strong backlight. Like there's some of the shots, and it kind of reminded me of this is like a terrible comparison because of the content of the movie, but like The Sound of Music, I just the backlight, just like some of the shots, I was just like, oh, it's kind of like that. I don't know, like that's a terrible comparison, but like
Actually, you're kind of right. I can picture it in my head. I'm just like, this kind of like it seems like it's the same thing.
yeah,
Interesting.
Sound of Music is actually the prequel to Videodrome, in case you didn't know.
Oh, and then no, I need my phone. I'll do it later. But one of the characters reminded me, shouldn't even be in it, but from is it Chicken Run?
What are you
What?
talking about?
I have to go get my phone and find the image.
Rochelle is
Rochelle.
leaving the small little tent we've just built, which is also our podcast room.
Yeah.
Riley, what did you think?
What?
She's a little bit tired right now.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what specifically you mean.
Well, from a filmmaking perspective.
Was there anything you enjoyed about it?
Yeah.
I think it is a movie set in the 80s, so there's like a level of like practicality with things that happen in the movie that are like, I guess we don't notice as much anymore. Like, we have to appreciate the fact that like when his stomach splits open, or when the TV moves, or when the cassette moves, that's like probably like a legitimate prop that they like turned into like an animatronic thing or configured. So I think that was really cool because we always see now, like visual effects and
Computer generated stuff.
yeah, like that sort of thing. And it was really cool to see it from more of a realistic prop standpoint. And then the sets were like really impressive. And it was shot in Toronto, so that's pretty cool. Canada represent.
Hmm.
But yeah, I feel like there was a couple like sets that were created that I was like super impressed with. And yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see what the other movies this director has created and just see an overall style. I watched The Fly like super long ago, so I barely remember it, and I just remember it being weird as well. But yeah, overall, I was like impressed with like the look, I would say, of it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I really like Max's apartment. I don't know what it is, but him having a door and then the walls that are on the same side as the door are like the really like faded bricks of glass or whatever. I don't know. Something about that was just it was kind of a neat
It seems
choice.
so weird. Like
Yeah, it
I would
is.
I would imagine living in your house, especially in an apartment, and that's your like door, and you're like sitting there, and all of a sudden you just see like movement past your door, and you're like,
Yeah.
and then somebody else walks by, and you're like I'd just be constantly like,
I would like some of that furniture like in my own house. That he
Mhm.
had.
oh, absolutely,
There's like
cool.
there's like
That's
that
so
one lamp. I was like, that's a
cool.
cool lamp.
Yeah.
I'd sleep there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rochelle, was there something you quickly wanted to share with us, or
Something about Chicken Run.
It's kind of stupid, but the
No.
one lady kind of reminded me of.
Which one? The one on the cassette?
We can't show you,
no.
but Google, what's this character's name from Chicken Run?
Mrs. Tweedy.
Google
she's
Mrs. Tweedy
horrible.
from Chicken Run, and
Um,
one of the characters.
She's
the
the
secretary?
worst.
This,
Have you guys
no,
seen Chicken
no,
Run?
it was the old lady who was like trying to sell him stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
the old lady from Videodrome looks like
Oh.
this.
No, not the old lady.
no,
No.
the secretary
The secretary on the cassettes.
The secretary. What?
in the opening scene where she's like,
She's
"This
like,
is your
good morning, this is your meeting. Yeah.
yeah,
Wait, are you talking about Videodrome?
yes,
Yeah.
that's why we're here."
No. Hey, now I'll just show you the character I'm talking about.
Quick pause, everybody.
You
Quick
won't be able to
intermission.
see this, but
You'll just
I don't remember the secretary from the beginning. I don't remember the beginning of the movie.
Actually, the secretary I really liked. I liked the beginning of the movie. How it like started on like, this is not a hallucination or this is not a dream, and I was like, that's a weird way. That's a weird thing to say. Like, I don't
Yeah.
No, it was the one who shot him. No, wait.
Oh, Mrs. O'Brien or whatever.
No, Miss Oblivion.
Oh, Miss Oblivion.
Bianca Oblivion.
Bianca Oblivion.
That's
That's
quite a
right.
name. A last name with Oblivion.
Oblivion. That's pretty sick.
Sheep.
That's pretty sick.
Maybe there's like some sort of underlying thing, like
Oh.
oblivious.
Maybe I don't know, but yeah, I can. Okay, now I can kind of see
I
it.
kind of see it too. Yeah, yeah. Okay, if you want to know for yourself, Google what was it?
Bianca Oblivion.
Bianca
and
Oblivion from
Mrs.
Videodrome
Tweedy.
and Mrs. Tweedy from Chicken Run, and you'll be able to see our
Mrs.
comparison.
Tweedy was like ruthless, bro.
I never
Had
saw
no
Chicken
s-
Run.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
I've never
man.
seen
God,
Chicken
the
Run.
chicken pot pies.
An underrated villain for sure. And Rochelle,
Dude,
those are
this
some of the
is ruthless.
craziest
Yeah,
comparisons.
I've
I don't
Sound
know
of
why
Music
it popped
and
into
Chicken
my
Run.
head.
Riley touched on this earlier, but the practical effects were actually really impressive.
They were.
They're gross.
They were really gross. The breathing TV
That was
to
cool.
the
It had like veins too.
yeah, and like the fact that it just like
It kind of made me
Morphed.
uncomfortable because it was like, I think it was supposed maybe, and maybe I'm just messed up, but it's like very supposed to be like sexual because it was like
Oh, yeah.
her, right? And then he was like touching it, and she was like, kind of making some noise, making some sexual noises, and I was like, what is happening?
well, I think it also has to do with just like people's attachment to like media and then TV. So it's just like almost like they or have this sort of attachment to television or something along that line.
But it's not even television. It's like the desensitization of television, right? Because that's basically what his whole channel was, and that's
Well,
what they
it's-
kept talking
it's
about.
basically sex and violence.
Yeah.
It's like sensationalizing the idea of that and making it seem like okay.
Yeah.
But then he always kept on being like, oh, it's allowing people to not be doing it in real life. But I'm
Mhm.
like, if you're watching it though, like, aren't you endorsing it in a weird way? And then in the end, they were like, admit it, you like torturing her or whatever. You like torturing her. So it was like they kind of like forced his hand to admit that he actually did like like violent behavior on other people.
Well, I mean, that's what made him really interested in Videodrome in the first place, was because it's like it's literal torture, and he's just
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what my channel's about. But he wanted more of it, which is
He kept on trying to justify it almost by being
Mhm.
like, oh, if people watch it, it's like lowering the amount of it to be on the streets, and it's like,
yeah, yeah. He's a little bit of a flawed character, but what character isn't?
yeah.
The breathing TV, the stomach hole, the
Yeah.
The guy who like blew up.
Yeah, for
Like,
some
Oh,
reason.
man.
he, like,
Oh, yeah,
almost
that
got
was
so
Oh, wait. Are you talking about when the
The-
TV blows up, or
No,
when
no,
he shoots
when
the guy on
and then he
stage?
just kind of like
no.
Oh,
So
I was thinking the wall.
Oh,
So there's the tapes. So in order for Max to get his new assignment on killing someone, they shove like a breathing tape into his stomach. But once Max goes against Videodrome, the guy shoves a tape into his stomach, and then it like grips onto him. And then when he pulls his arm out, his arm becomes basically a grenade, and then he explodes.
and that was hilarious.
So like in my head, I'm like, is the stomach hole a hallucination?
No, because he got like superpowers, right?
Maybe it's like a Mary Poppins bag where it's like if you put a ton of stuff in there and you reach in, you can pull something else out. Like he just was like opened up his stomach, he's like throw a grenade in there, and then this just like he reached in, he was like, oh no.
like the early hallucinations and stuff was cool because like breathing TV, that's neat. The stomach hole and him putting the gun inside his own stomach and then the gun just being gone, that was really, really neat. But like the later stuff, when it was like,
Yeah.
now it's real, it's like, okay, I don't know.
Wait, is it though? Like I don't know. I mean, I guess it is, but
There were people reacting to the guy with the grenade arm, the
Yeah.
bloody grenade,
Yeah.
fleshy arm.
I think I almost would have liked it more had it just played more into like the weird hallucinations and like less into reality. So he'd just be like losing it, and it wouldn't really have a connection to reality, right? And it's just more weird and weirder hallucinations for him. I think I would have enjoyed it a little more because it was then. It's where it lost me is when it started like mixing the two, and they were like, "We're gonna record your hallucination." It was like, what? And then it was like, I just from that point on, like once they started like revealing what was happening, it started losing me. And I think if it were just like hallucinations for the sake of hallucinations, I would have preferred it.
I agree.
Which is weird to say. Having less of a plot would have intrigued me more, but it's when the plot got like heavy in a way that it lost me.
I agree. The very early on, there's a scene where the secretary is like about to go for his Videodrome tape, and then he quickly rushes at her and then slaps her. And then that first slap, it turns out to be like it's someone else. It's the other main character, Nikki. And then he slaps her again, and it's back to normal. That was neat.
That was neat. And then he was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit you." And she's like, "You didn't hit me." And it's like nothing happened.
Like that was fun.
That was cool.
But then yeah, it's when it started to get real, when it was like I don't really know. Although the gun being in his hand, drilling into his hand, was really, really cool. I like that a
But
lot.
then he could just like put it in his pocket,
Yeah, that part didn't make sense.
and then he could just pull it out when he wanted. And then he had this weird fleshy gun hand.
I think it was
thing.
meant to symbolize something though.
It definitely
Yeah,
was.
well, I'm sure it was.
So
But
I mean, they
this
had a
movie was
lot
too
of
smart for
that
me.
through, huh?
This movie was too smart for me. I didn't understand it.
Oh, I like the really slight editing of the sound with the voice coming through the TV, and then it switches to like what sounds like the voice just like being in the room.
Oh, Brian Oblivion,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like it was a recording, but then he said his name, Max, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, he's in the room.
Yeah, I like that. That was really nicely done, and it felt like it was a really subtle way of him having that, like, I don't know, the like what we were saying, the reality and what's real and what's not real.
Hmm.
So it felt nice mixing the two a
Yeah.
bit. So
I enjoyed that quite a bit. What I do think was a little unnecessary, but it was cool nonetheless, was the main bad guy getting the most confusing, brutal death I've probably ever seen
Yeah.
with a prosthetic sort of setup.
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, I don't understand I don't understand.
Were they flesh-growing bullets? So Max shot the main bad guy with his fleshy arm gun, and then as he's writhing in death on the ground, he's
Exploding, like, but like slowly, like flesh is like exploding out of him. And it's not like a violent like kaboom. It's like a slow like growth and just like
It's like
It kind of
cracking open.
felt like
yeah.
yeah, it's
maybe
like,
it was like tumors almost coming out of him.
Mm.
yeah.
Like, because it kind
Hmm.
of seemed like there was like that whole conversation about if you watch Videodrome, you get a tumor in your head. Remember? And it was
Yeah.
like, I wonder if it was like this idea of like this growth that happens to people who are like connected to Videodrome that like makes them go.
I don't know.
Makes him go. Bleh. It was very the thing. It was very
Yeah,
thinny.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite part though was when he's talking to O'Brien, the girl, Bianca O'Brien, and she's like, so they sent you here to kill me. And he's like, I'm not a killer. And then like probably 2 seconds later, he pulls out a gun and tries to kill her.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like the most straight face, I'm not a killer, and then gun out. It was like, what? Like it was like they're trying to say he's like trying to like hold on to his like himself, I guess, if he's being like mind controlled, but then it was just like, nope.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
He
really
was
funny.
so easily swayed.
Yeah.
Super easily swayed. The
Yeah.
first 15 minutes, man, was a little bit of a trip because he's like buying this pornography,
Oh yeah.
this samurai pornography, and then it like cuts to like him going to like his guy that gets him media, and he eats a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It's just so
See, had they
weird.
gone with that and like gone with just like keeping the whole movie just like that kind of weird, like almost like Twin Peaks weird, where it's like everyone's just really weird, but then he was just really weird.
Mm-hmm.
No one else was weird, and yeah,
He was weird.
He was a weird character, and he went on that talk show again. What I don't understand is if Brian Oblivion was dead, how did he tape himself at the talk
No,
show when
no.
he was
didn't
dead weeks
technically
before?
really say anything though that would have answered the question.
but he answered questions.
No, but
Like he answered
didn't-
on
not
command.
really.
he was literally framed in the television to be looking in his general direction. He's even scratching his chin like
Yeah.
he's listening in on the conversation.
Yeah.
And then she asks him a question. She's like, "What did you think about that, O'Brien?" And he turns to her and
I
responds.
guess so, yeah. But he filmed so many tapes. He saw all those tapes. He's
Oh,
like,
he just foresaw that coming.
Yeah.
And just recorded it. Like he was
He was
he was doing the I have a sniper trained on you, but I've got a helicopter trained on your sniper, that thing. But like he was like 10 just steps ahead of everyone else. That's what it was.
What a weird movie, man.
Yeah, I
it
don't know.
was.
Like, and even like the weird exploding fleshy TV at the end, like
That was cool.
it
what
was
was-
cool, but why?
What about the ending? He just like
So
was that like Videodrome telling him to kill himself because he was too dangerous?
So you have Videodrome, and then you have the people against Videodrome, which was
The
Bianco,
Flesh.
the Flesh. So the main tagline is "Death to Videodrome, long live the new flesh." So it's almost like they're reaching some sort of ascension of some kind, like some sort of higher power.
Weren't they saying it adds onto the brain or something? Something.
Well, yeah, but then he kills himself. Or
Yeah.
does he? Or did he just ascend because it cut to black when he put the gun to his head?
Or maybe Videodrome is some form of like mind control.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
And because it was mind controlling him to be like an assassin. But then, so then was like Videodrome like, he's too powerful. We must mind control him to kill himself so he doesn't keep messing with our plans.
Or maybe he just knew that Videodrome had power over him and it was his only way out or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was his only option before he turned into the new flesh.
I don't know. I definitely want to watch a breakdown video because it's just like the story does interest me, but it's just I can't wrap my head around it. I really can't. Rochelle, what do you think?
I don't know what to think.
And you know what? That's okay. Does anyone else have any points they want to mention? I understand it's late at night, but
I think it was kind of cool. It's like, well, actually, was thinking, it's like, is this classified as like an unreliable narrator? I think it would be, right? Because or is he a reliable narrator because we're seeing what he's seeing, so we only know as much as he knows. It's not like he's deceiving us.
I mean,
Right?
he is, though.
Is he?
Because you're not realizing actually what's happening until somebody else
Yeah, but
is
he's
seeing it.
he's being truthful in his hallucinations because that's what he's seeing. And that's
But
what
it's
we're
not
seeing.
technically reality, though.
No, but it's his reality.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's super reliable. Just because,
But
for
like,
instance, like we just watched Shutter Island last night, and he's an unreliable narrator because he's lying to himself about what actually happens.
yeah, but in
And
that
it gives
case,
you a story of what you think it is, but it's actually something completely different.
but in Shutter Island, yeah, he does somewhere in his mind know what's actually happening. But in this, he doesn't know. He has no idea, just like us. So is he technically an unreliable narrator in the fact that he doesn't know, and
I
so
don't
he's
think
being
so.
reliable?
I don't think so.
You think he's an unreliable narrator?
I know. I think we're simply just observing it as he is just observing.
Yeah, exactly. We're not being lied to. We're not being deceived by anyone because.
But it's still hard to tell what's real or not, though.
But so it is. So is it to him? He doesn't know what's going on, right? I think an unreliable narrator needs to actually deceive and like actually know what's happening and be telling you a false story. But he's telling the story like from his perspective. We're seeing it as what he's seeing. I don't know. Maybe we could do a video essay on this. I don't know.
Maybe in a different life. Yeah. I mean, Videodrome, everybody. Any last closing statements they want to make?
I give it 7. No, I give it 6 dressed up dildos out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was also at the very beginning.
Samurai dildo.
Riley, what do you give it?
I think I give it 5.5 Videodromes. And I don't really know what else to give it.
Rochelle?
I don't know, like a 4.
Oh,
That's pretty low.
pretty low.
Interesting. Okay.
What did you give it?
For me personally, like, I think the writing was pretty funny. I thought the sets were great. I thought the acting was really good too. It's just, and the story up until like the halfway point was really, really engaging. But then, of course, I kind of lost it near the end. If the story kind of retained its sort of mystery of what Videodrome was, I think I'd definitely give it a higher rating. But for me personally, I would give it 6 fleshy guns out of 10.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I think their main problem was they tried to explain it, and it still didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But had they just not explained it, it would have left it up to like your interpretation, and then that would have somehow been better.
Well, in a way, it did that, but it kind of left me with more questions than answers.
Yeah.
So unfortunate. Never was a sequel of any kind, but we can all dream, and perhaps maybe we can try and figure it out for ourselves.
It almost makes me like I wanted to talk. Going into it, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have so much to talk about," and then we finished it, and I was like, "I don't know what to talk about," which is weird. It's really weird for me because I usually have a lot to say, but this, like the cinematography is fun. There's a couple like very noir kind of shots in it. Really enjoyed
A
those.
lot.
It's just the second half just really just took me out of it, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. I didn't not enjoy it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, rewatching it now with a filmmaker's perspective, I was just like, it's like, this is good. But then, yeah, of course, the problem the first time I watched it was like, what is going on? What is happening? But maybe we're not political enough to fully understand the message that Videodrome was trying to send.
Now
Maybe.
we're in a world where TVs are kind of like,
Yeah, TVs are on the
now
out,
we're,
everybody.
like, virtual reality and all these other things.
Maybe Videodrome should get the modern day treatment.
Yeah.
A remake, a VR remake.
Videodrome.
Maybe that's the reason why we don't understand is because, you know, we're a little bit of a younger
We're too young. Yeah.
audience.
Oh, and in case
The
there's any
generational
younger people listening, a VHS is what we used to watch movies on.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Crazy
We lived in the
stuff.
age of no internet. What?
Isn't that crazy though? We grew up in a time where we saw the transition from like VHS to DVD,
How about
and
the
then, like,
fact that we
DVD
had like
getting like
no
almost siphoned
internet,
out.
and then
Yeah.
we had dial-up, and then internet.
Yeah, I remember that too. I remember the first time we got
The
dial up.
World Wide Web.
They're like beep boop beep beep boop 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 beep 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 beep. And then whenever my sisters they need to like make a phone call or something, or they need to go on the internet and because use the phone line, so I'd like pick up the phone.
And then how
they tried
about
to
the
use
fact
internet,
when
they
this
couldn't.
movie was made that none of that
None of
ever
that existed, yeah.
So
And then maybe they're
us
what-
talking
what
about
they
this
were-
now, they'd be like, "Sorry, what? What
Yeah.
is this?"
They're trying to make a statement. Maybe that's what it is. The statement just doesn't land any like yeah, like
it
we
does.
just
I mean, in a weird way, when you watch this movie, it kind of makes sense because I'm like, oh well, we're already there. Like we're already at a point in our life
are we being
where
mind controlled by
not
Videodrome?
mind control, but we
we
watch
watching
a
literal torture?
lot of stuff on our phones and have so much access to anything, and it's just all
It's true.
there
It's true.
for the taking.
Something you just said, like, yeah, being mind controlled by the media or by the
True.
televisions, like that's
It's actually
kind of
very
what
true.
that's kind of what it
Yeah.
was.
It's kind of the reality we live in.
Maybe
Maybe it's a
Videodrome.
government thing.
Maybe, you know what? I was saying it as a joke, but maybe Videodrome does need the modern day treatment, and maybe it'll perform better and be more understandable.
But they
Today.
just changed Videodrome to just social media.
Maybe
And they're like,
I don't know.
they're like Facebook.
Let's
That's the
look it up.
movie. That's what we're gonna call it.
I don't know about
Okay.
that. Facebook,
That
Facebook.
Facebook guy really
Yeah, dude. He's Mark Zuckerberg, the alien, the reptilian.
that Elon Musk guy.
We're getting a little too political,
doing
everybody.
the Twitter, what is it called now?
X.
X.
Wait, weren't they gonna have a boxing match? Wasn't Elon Musk and
Yeah.
did they?
No, but I think that's planned.
Oh my god.
We are 4 people, part of a small video production based in the Okanagan, BC, and we talk about movies simply just
Don't tell them where we
because
are. They're gonna know. They're gonna find us.
we talk about movies simply just because we want to.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening,
fun.
everybody. And next
Yeah.
time,
Next time, it's my turn to choose the movies, and I already have the 3 movies chosen. I'm very excited. There's one specifically that I really want to watch, but I mean, it's up to you guys, and I'm super excited.
And it has a theme, right?
It does have a theme. Should I spoil the theme now?
No.
Should I wait?
Or
Yeah, I got
What
one.
theme?
Yeah. Should I say
what do you think?
I think it'd be
Jason?
fun. A nice little
Okay.
teaser for the next one.
the theme? Da-da-da-da, is Nicolas Cage.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yep.
And you know what? To you listeners out there, if we get enough people listening to these, eventually, hopefully, it'd be fun to do fan polls
Mhm.
where you, the fans, can decide what kind of movie we should watch next.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
No,
So like the top rated movie is the one that's chosen or something. We just go give us movie suggestions, and then people like
Movie suggestions.
give them, and then like just we go by the top rated one.
Or go
Be
by,
interesting.
I don't know, our own little themes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
there's so many things we could do. We just need to get rich and
Christmas.
famous.
Hey, guys.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
Super
With
easy.
Justin's new get rich quick scheme, we're gonna be billionaires in minutes.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that was quite a way to end.
And that's it. Rochelle's building a little tower on top of the microphone now. Maybe next time we'll have better mics.
Maybe.
Hey, wouldn't that be nice?
When
no
Justin
promises.
makes $1 billion off
When
his-
Justin makes $1 billion, we'll have instead of having one mic,
Maybe
we'll
we
have
won't.
2 mics.
Maybe we won't be under a fort. We'll actually have a
Maybe
recording.
we'll hire somebody named Mike to hold our mic.
We're Analog Vision Media, and we run a little small podcast, and we have a blanket over our heads to mitigate sound.
And I'm cutting.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye bye.